G'day aspiring engineers. This video is going to be a bit of a speed build where I'm working on a 3D printed shape that will be filled with plaster, and then the print, the PLA, will be peeled away and chucked out. What we're left with is a plaster mold for producing a ceramic shape by a process known as slip casting. And the finished piece is going to be a melt flow tester. This kind of test has been a widely used test in the ceramic industry for 100 years or more. And the traditional mold making procedure has always been slow, laborious and complicated. And it's got back and forth, positive and negative steps. I did that for a job about 30 years ago when I was trying to gain skills to make a career in the ceramic industry. But now with 3D printers you can cut that complexity right down. Now I got this procedure from Tony Hansen, a Canadian engineer, and you can look him up at this website, and I'll put a link to that website in the description down below here. Tony's come up with lots of good ideas, and here's the melt flow tester. You can read about it and you can download it from this page. And he's come up with this really nifty way of making molds and also a way of making these mold locating natches. That's so you can put these two sides of a mold together. And this is a great idea, Tony. If you're watching, fantastic. I'm going to do another video pretty soon where I just talk about rapid tooling. Now let's jump in. I'll give you a bit of commentary as we go. This is the file that I downloaded from Tony's website. It's a 3MF model and I bought it for $6.50. But then I did the whole thing again myself from scratch because I really want to understand this whole new way of doing things, including the way that Tony does these 3D printed natches. He's got a really nifty system going here. Right, this is all sped up about 5 times normal speed. Now I did stop quite frequently in these early stages to check on Tony's sizes and angles because, well, I'll tell you a secret, I did make one of these years ago and I managed to mess it up completely. There's an awful lot that you can do wrong here. My design just didn't work, but I do know that Tony has been using this one for years and years. It's a good one. Probably a good idea to discuss the level of difficulty in this project. You can see that I'm using some split bodies, using planes as splitting tools. I'm using round, revolved extrusions for where the round cavities are cut out of the basic shape. There's 2 of those, mirrored across. So there's probably not a lot of techniques that you haven't seen before as a beginner, having done maybe the 16 basic tutorials. But the challenge here is to do with the process. You've got to keep in mind that geometry here, when we're talking about a mold, it's either positive or negative. You've got to think about what's going to end up a cavity or a solid or a negative, positive. And in ceramics, it's what's going to be plaster and what's going to be clay. Then there's, with slip casting, there's a volume of liquid clay that you're going to pour out at the end. And so all that's really experience. And again, if one of the main challenges with any mold design is deciding where the parting line on the model is going to be, and that means you're going to have a split face, which means that the parts of the mold are going to fit together and be able to be drawn apart. It's really easy to put a fillet or a chamfer in the wrong place. It's easy to get confused about the direction that the mold's going to part and separate. There has to also be some draft or taper. It's got to angle a little bit. So there's quite a few things that can trip you over. Well, here's what I just mentioned a moment ago. This plane will be the split face of the two mould halves. And this next one is where I'm going to start the sprue for pouring liquid clay, or slip as we call it, into the mould. And of course it needs to have a taper as well. Now that I've got the part pretty much done, I'm sketching the outline of the split face. We've got a rule of thumb in the ceramic mould making craft that you want a thickness of about 1 inch of plaster. So you can see that I'm placing that outline about 25 millimeters away. Now here you can see the genius of what Tony Hansen has discovered. You shell out the mould halves to a very thin wall thickness, and you fill this 3D print with plaster and then peel off the thin layer of PLA afterwards. Yeah, I'll demonstrate this down the track a bit. Anyone who knows the traditional multi-step workflow will be very impressed by this incredible simplification. So that's it. I hope you learned something like I did. I got those matches sorted out. Now, I don't own a 3D printer. I gave mine away just a few weeks ago because I want to use a bureau service instead. We'll talk more about that another day. Keep your eye out for more videos on this project and on other projects. If you want to learn Fusion to use with your hobby, then you can check out my 16 basic tutorials in Fusion 360. I'll put the link in the description down below. See you later.